Are weeks in since many federal agencies brought workers back to work in person in order to comply with President Trump's executive order. Well, that brought major traffic problems for people trying to get on base in the Navy Yard area. 2 weeks later, a viewer has reached out to us and says traffic is still at a standstill every morning. Here's Marcella Robertson with the impact.
This really all boils down to about 17,000 people who work here at Navy Yard and only about 4,500 parking spaces available. And officials tell me that people are coming well before all of the gates are open, and that is what is really causing much of this backup. Take a look at some of this video from earlier this morning. Those backups we saw started as early as 4:30 this morning, and frustrated employees who work on base tell me that it is really a nightmare between about 4:30 and 5:30. There's only one gate open at that time. I spoke with Captain Ryan Gall this morning. He is the commanding officer of the base, and he says there has been a significant improvement to traffic since day one, but they are still working on the flow and are really urging people to turn to public transportation. He's also asking people to wait until 5:30 when the other gates open to help ease some of that traffic.
What we have found is really that flow rate has been our most significant challenge. And what we've asked our folks to do is to adjust their schedules such that we can get people to arrive here when the flow rate onto the base is really maximized, and that's after 5:30.
That's because before 5:30, they can only get about 400 cars through per hour. After that time, that number goes up to about 2,000, and Gall says that still leaves parking spots open in the 7 a.m. hour. Now, this traffic is even impacting people who don't work on base. One woman told me this morning that she has had to change her schedule and leave much earlier for her job at the State Department because of all of these backups. Now, I also want to mention that right now there is a shuttle that leaves about every 5 minutes from L'Enfant Plaza, the metro station, and officials tell me that there are plans to add more shuttle stops to both Anacostia and the Union Station metro stops to give people more options, and they're hoping that will be available as soon as next week. In Southeast, Marcella Robertson, WUSA 9.